In the days following the subway incident, Daniel found himself unable to shake off the haunting memories. Each night, as he lay in bed, the sounds of panic and the sight of the collapsing ceiling replayed in his mind, leaving him restless and uneasy. The once comforting hum of the city outside his window now seemed ominous, every distant siren triggering a fresh wave of anxiety. His appetite waned, and he began skipping meals, too preoccupied with his thoughts to focus on eating. Even his beloved routine of brewing coffee and reading by the window lost its charm. The familiar rituals felt hollow, unable to fill the void that had opened within him. At work, Daniel's performance suffered noticeably. Numbers that had once brought him solace now appeared as cold, meaningless figures on a screen. His concentration faltered, and he found himself staring blankly at spreadsheets, his mind drifting back to the woman and her child, wondering how they were faring. His colleagues noticed the change in him. His usually sharp eye for detail dulled, his punctuality slipping, and their concerned glances only added to his growing sense of unease. He tried to brush it off, attributing his distraction to fatigue, but deep down, he knew the truth. The subway incident had shattered his carefully constructed sense of security. The emotional toll was perhaps the hardest to bear. Daniel had always prided himself on his composure, his ability to remain calm under pressure. Yet now, he felt raw and exposed, as though the layers of predictability he had built around himself had been stripped away, leaving him vulnerable to the chaos of the world. For the first time, he questioned the life he had led, a life defined by caution, routine, and an aversion to risk. He wondered if his choices had made him stronger or simply weaker, ill-equipped to handle the unpredictability of existence. One evening, after another sleepless night, Daniel decided to take a walk through the park near his apartment. The air was crisp, and the golden hues of sunset bathed the trees in a warm glow. As he strolled along the winding paths, he noticed a group of children playing soccer, their laughter echoing through the open space. Watching them, he felt a pang of longing, not for his own childhood, but for the sense of freedom and joy they exuded. It struck him then how much of his life had been spent avoiding uncertainty, sidestepping risks, and clinging to what was safe and familiar. He realized that in doing so, he had also avoided truly living. Determined to confront his feelings, Daniel sought out the woman and her child from the subway. He didn't know why, he wasn't even sure what he would say if he found them, but something about their presence during the incident had left an indelible mark on him. After several days of searching, he finally located them through a local community center, where the woman volunteered. Her name was Elena, and she greeted him with a mixture of surprise and gratitude when he introduced himself. Over coffee, they talked about the incident, sharing their perspectives and emotions. Elena spoke candidly about her fear that day and how Daniel's actions had given her hope when she needed it most. Hearing her words, Daniel felt a flicker of pride, but also a renewed sense of responsibility to himself and to others. Their conversation marked a turning point for Daniel. Inspired by Elena's resilience and warmth, he began to reevaluate his priorities. He started small, making deliberate changes to break free from his rigid routines. Instead of taking the same route to work every day, he explored different streets and neighborhoods, discovering hidden gems like quaint bookstores and vibrant street art. On weekends, he ventured beyond the city limits, hiking in nearby forests or visiting coastal towns. Each new experience filled him with a sense of wonder and excitement he hadn't felt in years. Work, too, became an arena for growth. Daniel proposed innovative strategies to streamline processes at the firm, earning praise from his superiors and respect from his colleagues. He joined a mentorship program, guiding young analysts who reminded him of his younger self, eager but unsure of their potential. Through teaching, he rediscovered his passion for numbers, finding joy not just in their precision, but in their ability to tell stories and solve problems. As weeks turned into months, Daniel noticed subtle yet profound shifts within himself. He laughed more often, embraced challenges instead of shying away from them, and allowed himself to dream again. One evening, while attending a photography exhibition, he met a woman named Clara, whose adventurous spirit and creative energy captivated him. They bonded over shared interests and late-night conversations, and for the first time in his life, Daniel experienced the thrill of falling in love. With Clara by his side, he felt emboldened to pursue opportunities he had once dismissed as impractical or risky. Yet, despite these positive changes, Daniel couldn't ignore the lingering questions about mortality and purpose that the subway incident had planted in his mind. He began volunteering at a crisis hotline, offering support to those grappling with despair and uncertainty. Listening to their stories, he gained a deeper appreciation for the fragility of life and the importance of human connection. It was humbling and heartbreaking work, but it also reinforced his belief in the power of empathy and kindness. 1 year after the incident, Daniel stood on a hill overlooking the city, the same park where he had once walked alone now alive with the colors of spring. Beside him, Clara held his hand, her presence a testament to the unexpected turns life could take. Reflecting on the journey that had brought him here, Daniel realized that the subway incident had been both a tragedy and a gift. It had forced him to confront his fears, question his assumptions, and ultimately, embrace the beauty of impermanence. He no longer feared the unknown. Instead, he welcomed it, knowing that every moment, whether joyful or painful, was a thread in the tapestry of his existence. And so, Daniel Carter, the man who had once lived cautiously within the confines of routine, stepped boldly into the future, ready to face whatever came next. For the first time, he understood that life wasn't about avoiding storms, but learning to dance in the rain.